Hello and welcome. My name is Ellen with Ellen Estelle, and today I'm going to be showing you how to sew Simplicity's S8844. This is a Mrs. Unlined blazer. The pattern calls for brocades, cotton types, lightweight denim, linen types, poplin, sateen, seersucker, velveteen, or lightweight wool types. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to line the blazer as well as to add double welt pockets on the front. Now, this pattern includes patch pockets, which means that it's cut from the same fabric and it's just sewn on the front. I didn't like that. I wanted more of a clean look because I wanted it to be a little bit more formal. The shoulders are gathered, so you have a lot of fullness here at the sleeve, and it does call for a shoulder pad if you prefer. I thought I had enough volume in the sleeve with just this that I didn't want to add a shoulder pad. It has the center front lapels. It has 1/7/8 inch of a button here at the front, and I chose one that is almost exactly the same color. The fabric was purchased from Minerva.com. It is 100% cotton, much like a quilter's cotton or anything else that you would find at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. I wanted to add a little bit more structure to the fabric, so I did interface all of the blazer pieces. So that means not only does the front facing have interfacing, but every panel actually is interfaced as well. And I did fully line the jacket, as you can see, because I did want a little bit more structure and weight to this. So I will show you how to do that. There are princess seams all the way down the front, which create great contouring. So this pattern does include cup sizes, so A, B, C, D, double D, which is great. So that means that you can add a little bit more fullness or less fullness here if you would like. There's also princess seams all the way down the back as well, which also help with the contouring. And like I said, in this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to add the double welt pockets. It's pretty easy to do with any pattern that you have. It's literally just figuring out the placement that you want. So once you have that figured out, pretty easy to do. You may have already seen that this suit was published in Sewn Magazine. So not only did I make the jacket, but I made a matching pair of pants. So I used Simplicity's S2700, which is an older sewing pattern, but it's an amazing fit pattern, which is why I chose it, because I really wanted to make sure that the pants fit really well. So they have a double dart in the back to help with contouring, and as you can see, it's just a simple waistband. There are pockets on the front, and then there's a center front zipper. So this pattern was bought years and years ago when I was still learning how to sew in high school, and I've kept it because it's such a great classic fit. It has a little bit of a flare. I wouldn't say it's quite straight, but it fits really well. Obviously, it's amazing fit. And so I chose this pattern because I didn't have a suit pattern that I wanted to make necessarily, so I chose the jacket and the pants separately, both from Simplicity. I'm sure that there's tons of different Simplicity patterns out there, Palmer Plush or Amazing Fit or whatever, to supplement for this pattern in particular. So I chose this fabric in particular because I saw Moschino's latest spring collection, I believe, and they had this beautiful hand-painted looking fabric print that they used for a dress, a jacket, all kinds. And so when I saw their suit and their jacket and pant combo and I saw this fabric, I was like, perfect. So when I saw Moschino's suit that they had made with the fabric, I knew I wanted to recreate that. So on Minerva, they had this print in 100% quilter's cotton, and they have a variety of colors to choose from. I want to say like 20 different colors. This is the pale pink, and I would absolutely love to do this again in a blue or a green or even like a lavender. I love this print. It's definitely an eye-catching fabric, and I can't wait to show you how I made it. So follow along to learn more.
First, we're going to start out by cutting out the pattern pieces. Then we're going to cut out the same pieces minus the front facing in the lining fabric of our choice. Don't forget to cut out your fusible interfacing and adhere it to the designated pieces. I chose to interface all of my fashion fabric pieces in order to add more structure to my jacket. Now we're going to take both bodice front pieces and line them up with right sides together along the princess seam. Be sure to match up the notches and markings. There will be excess fabric along the curve of the bust. This will need to be worked into the seam as you are sewing so that there are no puckers. If needed, you can cut small notches to help stretch your center front piece. Then attach your back side piece to your front side piece with right sides together. Then attach your back bodice piece to your back side piece. Sew all of these seams at 5/8 of an inch and finish the raw edges. After pressing your seams flat, they should look like this. Repeat this process for your lining pieces. But be sure to attach your front-facing piece to your lining pieces with right sides together. Sew at 5/8 of an inch and finish the raw edges. Now sew your jacket together at the shoulder seams. Finish the raw edges and press like this. Repeat for your lining pieces. Then sew your undercollar pieces together and press like this. Attach your undercollar to your fashion fabric, matching up the markings, and sew at 5/8 of an inch. Repeat this process for the upper collar and your lining. Now for your sleeves, fold your sleeves in half lengthwise with right sides together and sew at 5/8 of an inch. Finish the raw edges and press the seam towards the back. They should look like this. Add a basting stitch along the top of the sleeve in order to help ease the sleeve into the armhole. Pin into the armhole with right sides together. There will be gathers along the top of the sleeve. Sew and finish the raw edges. Here is where I chose to do a double welt pocket instead of a patch pocket. I followed the Sewing Easy Double Welt Pockets by Colleen G. Lee, which I will link down below. First, I cut out my lining in a 6" by 10" rectangle like this. Then, I cut out my fashion fabric in a 6" by 3" rectangle. I drew the inner rectangle at 4.5 by 3/4 of an inch. Draw another line at the center of your inner rectangle. I drew in a triangle on either side about 1/4 of an inch away from the inner edges of the rectangle. This will be used for later. The pocket and lining should match up like this. For added stability, you can interface your fashion fabric pieces. Here's where Colleen's tutorial starts. Interface your fashion fabric pieces and sew them to the lining pieces with right sides together. Next, mark where you want the pocket placement on your jacket with a straight line the same width as your inner rectangle. With right sides together, match your fabric fashion pieces with the inner rectangle lines matching. Pin into place. Now sew along the top and bottom of the inner rectangle at the exact length that you marked. In my case, that is 4.5 inches. Be sure to backstitch to secure these stitching lines. Now that your pocket facing is sewn into place, cut along the center line and stop about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge of the inner rectangle. I chose to mark this with a triangle. Now cut along this triangle to the exact stopping point of your stitching line. Do not cut your stitches. Now you can push your pocket through to the inside and press the fashion fabric nice and flat. Then, fold your fabric fashion piece in like a hot dog from either side. The folded edges should meet in the middle of your opening. Stitch in the ditch all along the edges of your pocket so that it looks like this. Now, fold your pocket lining up to meet the top edge of your fashion fabric. Sew this edge and finish the raw edges all along the top and both sides of your pocket lining like this. Repeat these steps for the other pocket. In order to fully enclose our lining, we're going to match up the edges of the lining and jacket with right sides together. Matching up the center front bodice and front facing. Along the outer edges of the collar and along the hem. Sew at 5/8 of an inch and finish the raw edges, leaving about a 2-inch gap at the bottom hem of the jacket. Pull the jacket through the gap so that it is right side out. Then, reach through the opening and pull out your sleeve and sleeve lining, matching up the raw edges of the sleeve hems. With right sides together, sew the lining to the fashion fabric of your sleeve and finish the raw edges. It should look like this. Repeat for the other sleeve. Then finally, close up your lining at the hem by hand stitching it closed, and add a button and buttonhole of your choice at the mark indicated on the jacket pattern. And there you have it. Simplicity S8844 is a great fitting jacket pattern, perfect for bold fabrics like this. Be sure to check out the latest edition of Sewn Magazine, and until next time, please like and subscribe.